All right, y'all, welcome to the show. So in just a second, KASH Patel went on Fox News, and he clearly is in way over his head, bro. I mean, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing leading the FBI with this Charlie Kirk shooting. So we'll dive into that interview. Then we'll get to this Trump scandal that is spiraling out of control, where ICE arrested a bunch of South Korean workers who were here legally. And man, is this getting ugly, bro. This is getting ugly. This has wide-ranging consequences that are going to affect this country for decades to come. So we'll talk about that. We also have Megyn Kelly has an interesting person to blame for the Charlie Cook shooting. We have a segment that Netanyahu most certainly doesn't want you to see. We have Elon Musk crashing out on a brand new level, basically begging for violence and losing his mind. And then later on, the Diet MAGA Democrat, John Fetterman, has completely lost his mind, and he's acting like he may have had another stroke. So we'll talk about that and more. You guys know the drill. Everybody, please do me a big favor and subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you nothing. That's just below me right here. You could also support the show on Patreon. Remember, this is real independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser, never done an ad read, never talked to a billionaire or anything like that. You guys make this show work from the ground up. Truly appreciate it. You can give $2 a month or $5 a month or whatever. Anything helps. So thank you to everybody who does support this show. You can also support Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. That link is below as well. And go subscribe to the Corns World YouTube channel because we do live Kyle and Corns there. We usually do it every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So come hang out with us when we do that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's start with this. So KASH Patel did an interview on Fox News. And the reason why he's doing this is because he feels under pressure, bro. He's under pressure because everybody's been saying, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You're botching this investigation 14 ways to Sunday. First of all, the fact that you even got this guy, was total luck because you got a phone call from his dad or his youth pastor or something like that. And they turned him in, and he's not even cooperating. He's saying he didn't do it, most likely, right? And so they're going, why did you take a victory lap the other day when you didn't do dick? You did nothing. And so because of that and how he's botched it multiple ways leading up to this, people are really, I'm starting to see right-wingers call for him to step down from the FBI. Well, he comes and does this interview with Fox News, and the whole idea is, let me update on everybody on our investigation. And there's multiple parts here that are eyebrow-raising. Let's watch.
Charlie Kirk's murder suspect refusing to cooperate as the FBI discovers new details about his dark digital footprint before he makes his first court appearance tomorrow.
All right, FBI Director KASH Patel joins us now. I can't imagine, Mr. Director, how busy you've been, especially Charlie Kirk isn't just a impactful person, he's your friend. So I understand that. But having said that, people are looking to you to find out is how big this investigation is going to be. Can you tell us the latest?
Absolutely. It's so good to be with you. And you're right. My personal feelings and relationship with Charlie, I have a job to do for the American people, and I'm committed to do it for President Trump. We flexed all resources the FBI had and surged multiple air assets as soon as this shooting occurred. We were cycling in agents, evidence response technicians, hostage rescue technicians, and special operators in and out of Utah, cycling evidence back and forth on these FBI planes as soon as we could so that there was no delay. And what we did, once I got there, along with the deputy on the ground around 5 p.m. local on September 11th, was walk the entire crime scene, including the foots the suspect himself took. And what we learned was there was evidence, DNA evidence that could be collected and had been collected, including a screwdriver that was found on the rooftop. Also, we went over to the scene in the wooded area where the firearm was discarded, and the firearm had a towel wrapped around it. It's important. I'll get back to that later. I even walked into the wooded area in the ravine, so I knew from my investigative experience what I could bring to the table and what decisions I needed to make. And having the support of President Trump and the full support of the White House was what we needed for these resources to happen. And I can report today that the DNA hits from the towel that was wrapped around the firearm and the DNA on the screwdriver are positively processed for the suspect in custody.
So, Mr. Director, that is vital. That is breaking news and vital information because now you have the casings for the gun. So you connect the gun. Now you got his DNA on it. That's huge. But I also want to get to another part.
I just got to interrupt. Sorry, I just got to interrupt. We have the DNA on the screwdriver that was found on the rooftop and the towel that the firearm was wrapped in. The firearm itself, this is a great point. Thanks for raising it.
Yeah, no problem.
That is being processed by ATF laboratories in Maryland, and I believe they'll speak to that at a later date when their process is incomplete. But I just want to let you know the FBI handled the screwdriver and the towel found on the scene.
That is important clarification, Mr.
So he's saying they don't have the DNA on the gun itself yet. They have it on the towel and they have it on a screwdriver. Remember, I'll get to it later. Let me just keep playing, and then I'll say more about the various inconsistencies we got.
I want to get to the 20 members in that group chat. Have they been brought in from questioning? And the group chat that from our reporting that we're hearing is from after the assassination. Do you have the messages from before the assassination?
They had the group chat had nothing to do with it. From what we know of that group chat, you had people joking around with him going, "Oh, looks like you assassinated Charlie Kirk, bro." And then he was like, "Oh yeah, my doppelganger did, bro. Isn't that crazy?" Like, they had no idea. And so you bring him in, and what are they going to say? Like, I don't know, Tyler, before this, he seemed like relatively normal. So I don't know. They had nothing to do with any of it, so it's a weird thing to try to get to the bottom of.
Well, let me take a step back and tell you what we were doing while we were there and how we were led to the suspect so that this all fits into the puzzle. As soon as we learned of the shooting, we were able to, I think Charlie Kirk was shot at 12:23 local time on September 10th. By 12:39 p.m. local time, FBI assets were on scene securing the scene. We then launched at 10 a.m. the next day the first images of the suspect. Myself and the deputy arrived at 5 p.m. local time on September 11th. And then what we did was decided to have a press conference at 8 p.m. local, where we issued for the first time FBI obtained video footage that we seized from the security camera surveillance.
Okay, now this is important here. Take note of what he's wearing here, because this was released by TMZ. TMZ had released a different video of him walking through a neighborhood just like this on a public street. And in the other video we covered on the show yesterday, he was wearing a black shirt and jeans, and he was walking with a limp because he had the rifle going down his leg. But now here he is wearing the maroon shirt. So a lot of this doesn't make sense because, okay, he's walking through a neighborhood wearing a maroon shirt and shorts, and then when and where does he change to put on the black shirt, the jeans, and walk with the limp with the gun? Like, if he's walking on a public road on the way there in one video and walking on a public road on the way there in another video, then where the hell does he stop to change and assemble the gun? Like, I don't understand. It looks to me like two different people that we're talking about here.
System and new images, enhanced images. I decided to release immediately to the public because we were working with the public and the media to find this killer. Shortly after that 8 p.m. release, at 10 p.m. local time, the suspect was in custody. Why? Because the father informed us, pursuant to an interview of him, that he looked at the video that we released that evening and the enhanced photos and
And again, so here he is,
this
jumping off the roof afterwards. There's no gun. The FBI says he showed up in a maroon shirt and shorts. At some point, we don't know when or why or how, switched into a black shirt with jeans and had the gun, assembled the gun and put it like down his pant leg, right? Then he disassembles the gun before walking up the stairs, because when he walks up the stairs, the gun's not with him anymore, so it's disassembled and in his backpack. Then, when he gets to the top, he reassembles the gun and changes back to the other outfit. And then on the way down, changes back again and disassembles the gun again. And then escapes, but reassembles the gun before leaving it in the woods. Because the gun's not assembled here. Because he's jumping off the roof and the gun he doesn't have the gun, so it's clearly got to be in his backpack. So he disassembled it after the shooting to only run to the woods, reassemble it, and leave it. Again, I don't even know if they have the right guy, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if they have the right guy. And when they say, oh, he's not cooperating, maybe he's like, no, I really didn't fucking do this. What the fuck are you talking about? Right?
That's how fast the FBI was working to put out information in real time. And
bragging about the most basic shit. Like, oh, we were on top of it right away. Yeah, like everybody fucking expects you to be on top of it right away. What do you think that we think you're playing Parcheesi a couple states over, bitch? What are you talking about?
The Boston bombing, the FBI didn't release images for 3 days. We know we didn't have 3 days.
This is embarrassing. He's like straight up doing a dick measuring contest with the FBI with previous attacks. Everybody expects you to work on it right away. And the reason why they would withhold evidence for a little bit is because they were trying to get more information and more evidence to paint a clearer picture, right? They felt like, hey, if we release this might jeopardize our investigation. That's why they would wait. It's not like they were like, let's be really slow to piss off the public. Like, oh my God, he's so stupid.
Made an executive decision on investigative and operational need, and it turned out to be the right move because the men and women of the FBI said that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, we knew when that video was released, we said it here on Fox and Friends, someone's going to recognize this person because someone was friends with him, his family, someone knows this guy. Those images were crystal clear. Mm-hmm. Tell us what you...
Yeah, they really weren't, though. The best images they had was when he was walking up the stairs and he had sunglasses on and a hat on. And it's very easy to not really get the right person based off that.
You know about his background, his childhood, his father who had to turn him in.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore the last question. Going back to the group chats real quick, there's more than 20 individuals. But this is a great point. I want to lay out.
Yeah, this is the clearest picture, and this is not that clear. In fact, I don't think this is a slam dunk that the guy they have is this guy. It doesn't look exactly like this guy to me, right? Am I crazy? Am I the one that's not making sense here?
People think we can just get in these group chats and immediately find out who's in them. We, the FBI, are the investigatory body supporting multiple prosecutions and ongoing investigations. And that's another point. Our investigation at the FBI is ongoing. And there are scores of people in this Discord chat room. But we have to effectuate legal process. We have to go out there with search warrants.
Again, disassembling and reassembling the gun, which, by the way, according to them, this particular gun he's using is not an easy one to assemble. It takes time and it takes knowledge on how to do it. So, but disassembling and reassembling it a number of times, and also the changing the clothes multiple times. I don't know. That doesn't really add up.
We, the FBI, are running the investigation pointedly on the Discord chat group. There are scores of individuals that are going to be spoken to. There are also lots of family members and friends that have already been spoken to. And one more point on forensics. We were able to obtain in record time the text message chain between the suspect and his live-in partner, as well as other critical cellular information from our KASH team that analyzes cell phone data towers in the area to pinpoint the locations of the suspect and other individuals he was speaking with. This is critical information that the FBI processed and got to prosecutors so they can lawfully use it in a court of law. And our investigation, our interviews continue, but we've learned some shocking things when we spoke to his family and friends as well.
You want to share them? Those shocking things?
Sure. And my job as FBI director is not to speak to motive, is to speak to the facts. And that's what I'm going to do. His family has collectively told investigators that he subscribed to left-wing ideology, and even more so in these last couple of years. And he had a text message exchange. He, the suspect.
They are so fucking desperate to pin this on trans people and the left. They are so fucking desperate.
With another individual in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for. Those are factually accurate investigatory findings by the FBI that we've handed over to the local authorities and the federal authorities to make their prosecutorial decisions. But I believe in this instance of such public importance, the public has a right to know. And I've told you I'm committed to transparency, and that's what I'm doing here today.
Why didn't that?
He said, my job is not to speak to motive, is to speak to facts. And then he talks about motive. Oh my God, he's so stupid.
Person that he was talking to, why didn't that person say something?
Our investigation is ongoing. That's a great question, and we don't have an answer on that just yet.
But Mr. Director, you're right. Your job is not to speak to ideology, but you do have the BAU, the Behavior Analysis Unit, that are there. And my sources, people that are within the Bureau and outside that used to be FBI, tell me that the BAU has been encouraged not to tackle the transgender issue from
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem is Trump's government is going, bro, how do we not blame this on trans people? We wouldn't want people to be irrationally angry towards the trans community. It's been nothing but that. First of all, 4chan doxed 2 or 3 trans people saying that this was the shooter. It wasn't the shooter, right? But they said, oh, it was a trans shooter. And then it became, oh, there was trans writings on the bullet casings. That turned out not to be true. And then it became, oh, there's a trans roommate or something or partner or something. We don't even know if it's true that that person is trans or not, right? But come to find out, that person was cooperating with the FBI completely. So if anything, you should be thanking them. But no, now he's pretending bro, the government's really scared to point the finger at trans people. Are you kidding me? They've tried 14 different ways to do that without any fucking evidence. Oh my God.
Ideology standpoint. Have you heard that? Are you tackling that? I know you only been there recently, but you can't have a political slant saying we're not going to attack different political ideologies because it's going to offend someone.
You're absolutely right, and that's why me and the deputy have been quarterbacking this investigation ourselves. There is no one at the
Don't worry, Dan Bongino and Cash Patel are on the prowl. They're the ones who are taking care of this. Oh my God, the Keystone Cops are the max, bro. You're the idiots who would try to force trans stuff into it.
There's no one at Quantico or anywhere else that is going to say we are not looking at X or Y. We are looking at the facts, and that is why we are releasing the facts in record fashion. If you go back and look at historical cases like Luigi Mangione.
We're releasing the facts in record fashion. What?
Boston bombing. How long did it take the Bureau to release information to the public? We're not doing that. Those two men.
This is so embarrassing. He knows how everybody thinks he should resign because he's been failing, and he's trying to pretend like, bro, I'm actually releasing stuff really fast, bro. Look at how fast this is, bro.
Hunts took 5 days, and they happened in downtown major metropolises. We apprehended our suspect in 33 hours because we were...
There were like a fucking 1,000 people around. What are you talking about? For there was a lot of people where the other shootings happened. You were at a fucking giant public event.
Transparent and open with the American public, and we're going to continue to do that. So anyone that thinks that the FBI is not on top of its game and that me and the deputy and everybody in leadership in our Salt Lake City field office in Quantico is doing anything politically, I'm not having it. And if you've heard anything else about it, they are lying to you. We're on it.
That's why it's so important that you came on, and we're thrilled you are. A couple other things. I have 2 quick questions. One, is it true, what the governor said yesterday, that he had a written note that you're looking into now prior to the assassination? Did he have a note? And the other one question is, the person that was texting with him about I have a shot at taking out Charlie Kirk, can that person be charged?
So I'll take those in reverse. The charging decisions are up to our great partners at the Department of Justice and the Attorney General, who have been wonderful providing resources during this entire process, and we'll let them speak to any charging decisions. But we, the FBI, are investigating. As I said, our investigation is ongoing. We're interviewing dozens and dozens of suspects, subjects, witnesses, and the like, and continuing to examine forensic information, including cell phone data and DNA analyses. And once we make those findings, hand it over to our partners, as we're doing in real time, they'll make those decisions. And I'm sorry, Brian, I forgot your other question.
You had a written note. Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So what I'm able to say, I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is, I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe, what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying, the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
So there was a note, but now there's not a note. But it's okay because we learned what was in the note because of our aggressive posture interrogating him at the FBI. Are you saying we almost tortured him into a confession? Because that's what that sounds like. Oh, there was a note. We don't have the note anymore. The note's gone now, but we were able to get him to say what was in the note because we were aggressively interrogating him. What? What are you... Who believes this? Can anybody really believe this? This is kind of crazy, bro. This is crazy. They're covering shit up, man. They're covering some shit up. I don't know what it is. I don't know the specifics, but we are not getting the real story here.
Mr. Director, I'm curious, and there has been some criticism, so I appreciate you coming on our program and discussing it with our audience.
There has been some criticism. Bro, everybody is criticizing you, KASH.
You tell us what was happening on the ground. Apparently, according to sources, you weren't getting some information, you requested photos, and you were being stonewalled. Now, I think it's important to note, there's always some sort of tension between local cops on the ground and the feds. They want to handle their own investigation, but of course, with an investigation of this magnitude, you have to step in, you have the resources. But can you explain, was it the local field office, was it the state police? What was going on?
So the local authorities have been fantastic. Okay. The local sheriff, the state PD have been wonderful. And any investigation, as you hinted to, of this magnitude has so many people in it because I'd made the decision to search so many resources. And to get the information up to me was of the utmost priority. So I worked with my team to say, hey, there's not going to be any delays. We're not going to do it the way we normally do things.
We're not going to do it the way we normally do things. Okay, so you're going to taint the investigation to try to get social media brownie points to get information out faster, even if the information is false, which you already multiple times put out shit that was false. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Totally unfit.
The FBI was how they knew how to do things. I had to expedite that process. That's my job. That's what I thought this case deserved. And that's what this case was rightly calling for. So I made the tough calls. But I wasn't critical of anyone in particular. I just said, we got to move faster. And that was my call to make. And if there's any criticism there, you can put it right here.
Who wasn't giving you information, Director? Who wasn't giving you the photos when you requested them quickly and it didn't make it to you? Who denied that order?
It's not a denial of the order. Just to clarify, I'm glad we're talking about this. The photos were produced. They just weren't produced in a timely fashion that I felt was appropriate for an investigation of this magnitude. So I came in and I accelerated that process.
So in the 24 hours after, when we were still looking for the guy, I know you posted that we got him. And that ended up not being true. You took some incoming because of that. What led to you posting that? Why did you feel so certain about it? And what do you have to say about the criticism?
No, I appreciate this opportunity. Look, As I stated, I was being transparent with working with the public on our findings as I had them. I stated in that message that we had a subject and that we were going to interview him, and we did.
See how Weasley he's being? He said, I said subject, not suspect. So obviously what I was saying was we don't have the guy, we have a guy. Is that how it was interpreted? Did you guys see there's a lawsuit against KASH Patel and Dan Bongino now because these are people who were like illegally fired. And they're saying these people are insane, that all they care about is their social media following. All they care about is appeasing the MAGA blob online. And everything they do is geared at that.
The job of the FBI is not just to manhunt the actual suspect who did the killing or suspects, but it's also to eliminate targets and eliminate subjects who are not involved in the process. And that's what we were doing. Could I have worded it a little better in the heat of the moment? Sure. But do I regret putting it out? Absolutely not. I was telling the world what the FBI was doing as we were doing, and I'm continuing to do that. And I challenge anyone out there to find a director that has been more transparent and more willing to work the media on high-profile cases or any case the FBI is handling than we have been.
But that's the problem, is that all you care about is the media adoration and the MAGA Twitter adoration. That's all you care about, which is why multiple times you said we got him and you didn't fucking get him. It was way later that happened. And we didn't even know if we got the right guy. Based off the way everything you're describing is happening, I don't think you did.
Do you think that guy was part of the plot to distract you while this guy got away? Do you think there's any connection between two of those people that stood up and acted crazy at that moment?
Well, as it's now been publicly reported, some of these people were taking claims for this horrific act of violence and they had nothing to do with it. Others were working what we call a daisy chain analysis. And this is where the cell phone data dumps are so important. We're seeing who talked to who, not just in chat groups. We're seeing who texted who was around who. We're using our geofence.
He did not answer that question at all. That's like the crucial question. That's the most important question, which indicates, was this a professional hit job? Was this multiple people involved? Was this a complex operation or wasn't it? And even Brian Kilmeade is smart enough to say, yeah, those people who were making noise after Charlie Kirk got shot and said, shoot me, I did it. Are they part of it? And he's like, who knows? Like, what the fuck is this? That's the thing I keep coming back to is you had two decoys, two. Clearly they're fucking in on it. Your response is not clear about that? Oh my God, he has no idea what he's doing.
Others were working what we call a daisy chain analysis, and this is where the cell phone data dumps are so important. We're seeing who talked to who, not just in chat groups. We're seeing who texted who was around who. We're using our geofencing capabilities to map out exactly where individuals were, and then we're also getting into their personal cell phone information to say, were you calling so-and-so? Were you texting so-and-so? And we know the suspect was communicating with folks, but as I've said, that cell phone tower information, you got to get it the right way, with search warrants, with lawful authority, so that our prosecutors can use it in court for whatever investigations they do.
And now he's blabbing about something that wasn't the question. The question was, hey, those people who were like decoys, who were like, I did it, shoot me, are they in on it? And he didn't have a fucking answer.
KASH, he's not saying a word. He's not admitting it. Is he remorseful? And what happens to him? Does he get the death penalty?
If he's not saying a word and he's not admitting it, how could he be remorseful? You dumb bitch. Oh my God, she's so stupid.
Well, I'll let the state authorities speak to their prosecution, which is ongoing. As I think your summary is correct, based on my information that I have, he has not been cooperating in terms of interrogations with our law enforcement officials.
So that can mean one of two things. It could mean they're trying to get him to say that he was left-wing and he's refusing to say that he was left-wing because he's not. Or that could mean he's saying he didn't do it. It could mean either one of those things.
And Mr. Director, we always appreciate it because every time there's silence, that's when the conspiracy theories pop up.
No, he's been running his fucking mouth since day one of this thing, and there's still a lot of conspiracy theories because there's a lot of holes in their story. Their story doesn't fucking add up. He changed his clothes multiple times, right? This is how the official story goes. He put together and took apart the rifle multiple times. Then he shot the rifle, disassembled it, jumped off the roof, and then put it back together and left it in the woods for them? What? I mean, look, to me, where they're at right now, I don't think they have any fucking idea. I don't think they have any idea. I think they might have the wrong guy. I actually think they might have the wrong guy. I actually mean that. Totally fucking crazy where we're at right now. This is a joke of an organization. And oh, would you look at that? It looks like you probably shouldn't have fired all of the career experts at the FBI, which they did. Literally the person in that region who was at the top of the FBI, they fired that person. Maybe don't fire the career experts to bring in some political hacks who will suck MAGA cock all day long. But that's all they know how to do, huh? Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.